stand by top esports. It's obviously a high priority pick, but huge for Knight, but he's not wanting to risk giving it over to OMG. Now, Wukong comes through as that first pick, and we'll see what top esports want to respond with. If they'll go for a jungler here, obviously things like Viego, Lee Sin, open and available, but also Renata very strong. Can't be paired with Kalista, but still an Aphelios open and available, and JackeyLove looks like he might just pick that one up.
I just find it so funny. Wayward hovering over Arky's champion pool as well, like a little bit of a taunt. Zed, Talon, things he played earlier in the split. You can't put it past this man to throw in a bit of playful BM as we get our bottom lane here. There you go. It's the usual here. Aphelios has been high priority all day, all week. And once again, JackeyLove going on a champion that he's excelled at.
It's like all draft are going to have little highlights for Aki's champion pool, it seems. Yeah. I feel like OMG in this situation, you could match with AD carries. Jinx is what we've seen often as an answer to the Aphelios. We could see it going a little bit of a different direction. Still plenty of options. First off will be the Nautilus, the highest priority engaged for the moment. And we get the Samira from Abel coming out. So, you know, top esports want to play this kite back bot lane, great front to back tools, and OMG are like, you know what, we'll just dive even harder.
I love that no one's playing this in our league apart from Abel. Like, Samira is so rarely seen, and Cold was playing a lot of Rel alongside it. There was a duo that in spring wanted to pilot this unique pocket. This time around with the Nautilus, similar effect as we get our bottom lane that OMG have tried to rely on in the past, but top esports, it's similar to say that Poppy is going to have an effect on these three champions of OMG.
Poppy is so good into Samira because not only can he interrupt a dash, but you know when she jumps in and starts spinning, you just press E. Just take her with you, right? True. Take her away from your backline, interrupt her, and then the rest of the team you can turn and take her out. So I love this pick coming out from top esports. And now I feel like they're in a comfortable spot. They have a bot lane they're really happy with. They have a jungle they're really happy with. Yes, they're up against a Wukong, but now they get first priority of picks on this fourth pick, and they can also get counter pick if they need. So far, starting to ban away mid laners with that Corki taken away from Creme, as OMG targeting more towards the top lane.
I just feel like it's funny, you know, Knight's got such a big champion pool, and he's drawing so many respect bans coming through here as well. Or should I say they're drawing it out, putting it up against Creme. It's worth noting that, you know, Knight and Creme, lots of individual talent there, lots of big pocket picks. And while we look at solo laners towards mid, Knight's also going to this time get taken away from the Talia. So Aux, talk to me about priorities once again.
Yes, I mean, I feel like it depends what they really want from the mid lane, whether they want to lean into something with a bit more agency, whether they want to go for something that's obviously going to scale a bit better. But it looks like they might just prioritize the top right now and go for Sejuani. Really strong blind. Might just see the Gnar picked into it by OMG unless Shanji has something like a curveball he wants to bring out. But ultimately, the thing with the Sejuani is you have good CC to help interrupt Abel. I'd love to see the Shen. It's something that Shanji brought out in spring to some great effect. We'll see if he does opt to lock it in. But for the time being, still need to think about that mid laner. And the mid lane pool, I will note, has been thinned pretty spectacularly. If you look at what's been taken off the cards, there's still like a Zero available.
Yeah.
And they are going to lock the Shen in for Shanji. And now comes the question of what do you want mid? You know, there's still the Sandra as an option. There's still a Zia. It depends whether you want like higher agency or lower agency. Viktor is an option, and they will just lock that in.
So we're putting a lot of eggs in the Samira basket, Aux, it feels like here for OMG. I'll ask you a question about that in a second, because top esports for once look like they have a bit more of a standard draft. And Knight on Azir is not something people go out and say, oh my god, it's his best champion. In fact, he hasn't played at all this split. Orianna either, but let's be real, these are more the champions he's known for. And Knight on the Orianna once more, Aux. Tell me the lockdown that this team wants to set up for.
Yeah, if it's not clear, top esports have a front to back that honestly is pretty nuts. They have this huge bulky front line with a Sejuani and a Poppy, both like pure tanks, not bruisers, pure tanks that will be very hard to take down late game. They have an Aphelios with a Renata and Orianna for protection, all that DPS that comes with it. Whereas the side of OMG, they have a decent amount of dive coming in. And this Shen is the pivotal thing. So I actually want to talk a little bit about a series we saw in spring where OMG had a bot lane where I felt like it might be really painful. I believe they were into Caitlyn Lux, and they had a short range bot lane, and they picked Shen. And do you know what Shanji did?
What?
He went bot lane. They got an invade kill. And then they tower dove. And then they killed the enemy Lux again. Lux was 0-3. And then only then did Shen TP top. He was 2 levels down on the enemy Jace. And he never really recovered. But it didn't matter because bot was 1. And bot was what the game was about. So I expect the fact they're locking this in, I fully anticipate some Shanji cheese to come out from the Shen. The question is, will Top Esports be ready for it?
I mean, this is all about OMG, right? Because we talked last night with our little meeting that, went up to about 3 a.m. OMG, this team has started becoming known for all these little pocket picks. From Aki, from top lane, even Creme, right? And Abel and Cole, the Rel, the Samira. It feels like at this point, OMG are kind of building their identity on what's next. And Shanji going in the Shen, Auxie said it might be the ride or die, might be the all hail or nothing. I'm curious because OMG are 4-4, and this team has been a nice little surprise this split with a late rendition. But it will, as you say, yes, start with OMG doing similar to what they did last time, but the 5-man invade begins.
And I do actually have another story for you. So I talked about how they did that in that game and it worked fantastically. OMG attempted to repeat that same success. They took the Shen top lane. They went for the bot lane invade. He actually stacked in the bot lane brush for like a minute to try and find the all-in. And you know what happened to Hysterics?
What?
It backfired massively and they lost the game in like super fast time.
I think I casted that. I'm pretty sure I casted that and I was just so upset for him.
Yeah. So this kind of feels like how this game feels very feast or famine. I feel like if Abel doesn't pop off, I struggle to see it. I really struggle to see it. But that being said, there's still avenues. And one thing to mention is that like Top Esports have a 2-carry composition. If Knight or JackeyLove, if either of them dies, it doesn't even have to be die. If they get caught out and they're just out of position, they can't team fight because they're chunked. That's a massive proportion of damage. It's just going to be like high damage numbers from those two. So even if OMG fall behind, if they can kill JackeyLove, that might be enough for them to find momentum in the fight, but it'll definitely get significantly harder. They need a good start.
But let's talk about OMG's start because, again, when we hovered quite a lot about the Shen being a condition, I want you to walk me through the Samira lane and how important it is for OMG's composition overall.
Yeah, so level 1 isn't fun, as most times into Samira lane. She's going to auto-attack you and harass you with JackeyLove doing the same since you are melee ranged or double ranged. You kind of just take the L on wave 1. They get level 2 first, unless like you massively mess up. Mark, chill. But then, obviously, Top Esports still have control. They get level 2 first. They crash the wave in. It starts to bounce out. And then Top Esports hopefully have the wave pushing to them when OMG hit level 3. That's the most dangerous point. And if that happens, Top Esports can mostly mitigate. OMG need level 3. You need not only Cole to have a full rotation abilities, but Abel needs his Q. He needs to dash in with his Z. He needs his W to block. So at that point is where OMG pose all-in threat, and you have to be respectful.
Already struggling a little bit in this starting laning phase, though. Worth mentioning the CS differential from JackeyLove as he gets the hard push. Aki as well. He's now been spotted. Okay, that red ward from Top Esports. Going to see that the blue buff has begun. The Wukong is in the top side of the map. And again, JackeyLove and Mark with this information continue to be a nuisance Aux. So that level 3 a little bit further away than expected. And already Top Esports kind of starting the lanes as you'd expect.
Yeah, and top lane, a little bit different than what we've seen from Shanji Shen before. True. He's actually just laning. And Shen does decently well into tank matchups, honestly, because you have that percentage HP on your Q. If you taunt through them, Q through them, you get like quite a lot of percentage HP damage available. So Shanji can kind of just play it comfortably and then be available for that ult later on. If you like, after the response to a Samira is try and just burst her out, but she will have that shield from the Shen. Now, Creme.
Okay, does he have to flash away? Maybe the answer is yes. The stun mitigated. The phase rush so good. Creme late on this flash. Tian matches it. He needs the auto. He gets it. But under turret, Creme can TP while Tian is just plain out dead on that one, Aux. He felt it.
Yeah. The thing is, it's technically more gold for Top Esports, right? Because they got first blood and assist gold. Creme has to burn his TP to get back in lane, so he doesn't actually miss any farm. It's technically an advantage for Top Esports, but it's not exactly what they were looking for on the back of that play. Now, they might look for the all-in here. Cold, I feel like you have to flash to set this one up.
Well, JackeyLove and Mark already suspicious because remember that wall on the top side, Aux? They saw Aki get the blue buff, probably thinking he's pathing all the way down. It's already giving a nice bit of space here. But at this point, you're right, Cold need to flash in, doesn't, so the lane continues on as normal. I just love, you know, even though, yeah, technically worth it, I just love the mental game Orcs, because Top Esports, they're a mental team, and that is ambiguous, and I completely mean for that to be ambiguous.
Well, I think the big thing as well is, can they capitalize on the lack of flash and Creme? Obviously, in a mobile pick, and Tian might go for Hex. So this is one of the things, you actually see Hex Flash Poppy.
Yeah.
You can find the better gank paths, and also, if you can find an angle to like Hex Flash into, slam them into a wall, it can be very powerful. Doesn't obviously find anything there on the control ward, but just, you know, providing some assistance for the bot lane. Maybe you can Hex Flash over a wall and slam Creme into his tower, go for another dive. We'll see. Okay,
Dreadline comes through though. Abel is able to mitigate here with the Blade Whirl, and looks like JackeyLove can't get the Gravitum off 2 members. So, excuse me, Top Esports seem to be using this as an opportunity though. And the Hex Flash, yeah, it's coming over. Tian wants to dive yet another turret within 5 minutes.
Yeah, ends up not risking it, but you help provide enough pressure to get a plate for Top Esports' bot lane. This is how it's going to go. If you don't find all-in windows for OMG's bot lane, Top Esports are just going to outscale you and just have a final time pushing you in and taking plates.
Okay, Wayward going to be on a ward here. Arky now with an opportunity up on this top side. But Wayward, as he comes back out and his waves pushing for him for the time being, Orcs. I mean, Shanji needs that shadow dash he talked about. Is it going to be enough? Arctic Assault's available. Wayward has level 6. That's not much doing.
It's still not fun time, you know. Still a lot of trading power from Shen. And now Shanji is his level 6, which is obviously more impactful for the team. So Wayward can just scale up and be strong. Something to notice though is that Wayward has gone for Glacial Augment in this game and the Exhaust. So Exhaust, fantastic summoner to have against Samira. A lot of value in team fights. Won't deny that one. And Glacial Augment means even if your opponent's cleanse, or if the CC runs out, you still have that AoE slow. But what it kind of indicates to me is that Wayward knows this lane isn't one you can just trade freely with the Shen. You will lose those trades. So instead of trying to stack Grasp and just getting beaten up, he's trying to just have, you know, a summoner and a keystone that scale better in the later stages at the cost of his lane.
Yeah, again, you talked about the front lines of Top Esports being so good for the setup for Knight, the setup for JackeyLove. It's hard tanks here against the Samira. So, you know, for OMG, waiting to see how the game starts out, because Orcs, we've got a Herald coming up in about 50 seconds. First Dragon was taken, done by Tian, as we saw moments ago. And right now, bot is not getting many resources, and it does feel like for the time being that Shanji is the only one doing that well in lane. Bar Creme, who got a trade kill with the dive early.
Yeah, and but now, once you have that level 6 available, you can go so much more aggressive. You can fish for opportunities and for windows on the back of that Shen. So I think we have to measure. You know, you pick the Shen in this situation. You're playing a composition that wants to snowball. The ult is a long cooldown for the Shen. So you really want to get high value out of the first one that you use. We'll see where it comes down for OMG. We'll see what they can get. Ideally, you want like a couple of kills and an objective. The worst case scenario would be you burn it and end up falling behind. But for now, hold that thought, because we're seeing Top Esports kind of flock to the bot lane right now.
Oh yeah, I mean, Knight as well. Wave at an even state, moves straight down into the river. And Shanji still has the wave pushed out, so you can sense that the ult is coming shortly. But at the very least, with Herald now spawning, the flock to the bottom lane means nothing here for TES, and we kind of just resume setting up for Herald. But with that case, OMG are going to be on it first, and Aki's by himself.
Yeah, and he'll just be able to grab this one. Pretty much uncontested. We'll see if Top Esports can actually do something here. They do have the level 6s available. Gotta be a little bit careful of the level 6 Samira, and it might just be they take the plates here and don't get anything more. It would be a bold play for Tian to go for the dive here, but, you know, I've seen Tian do bold before, and it kind of is... Yeah. It suits him.
He has flash again. So that also spells trouble, or if you're a Top Esports fan, maybe trouble's what you've been looking for. Tian over a ward as well, which has been pretty good from OMG to set up defensive vision lines, but this starts his invade. He's sticking around the bottom side. They didn't even want to care about the Rift Herald. Because of that, JackeyLove was able to get a further plate. So Orcs are putting a lot of gold here into the bottom laner, who's still leading in CS and who has been having a really good time within this lane. We know that Top Esports have got their priorities right for this first game.
But I want to see a reversal from OMG. You got Herald now. Set up a play. Stack a wave down towards bot. And then look to drop the Herald and get Abel some gold. You need Abel to be strong. If he's not, Top Esports win. It's that simple.
So, Herald going to go where? Walk me through a little bit about the rotation here from OMG.
Bot lane. You can see Aki is going to be pathing towards bot anyway. You need gold, you Samira. You have the Shen as well, so Shen can join too. It's Orianna versus Viktor mid. It's not like anything crazy is going to happen there. It's not like you're dealing with like the enemy team has a Galio or something. So just walk it bot, try and make an engage happen, have the Shen back up, and then bare minimum get some plates down for your Samira, get some gold, and get it close to those item spikes. And
let's just hope we see something soon, because it's been a slow game.
No.
That's mid. Aux, what happens if it's mid? You know, what is it like a Matrix effect? Are we into the machines? What's happening now?
It just means, so like, it lowers mid tower, which means that potentially they can set up to try and get the second. If they get the second herald, they can get the whole tower, which is nice, sure. But you have to get the second herald as well. On top of that, gold for the Viktor. Like, Viktor's going to be strong regardless. Like, sure, get him stronger early. It's obviously better than giving it to the Shen. But I still feel like the fact that you're down in this bot lane matchup already, I feel like it's like, oh, you know, the win con isn't Viktor being mega fed. That is nice and might well win you the game. But, like, if Abel is behind, I think it's just over. Like, I feel like Samira only functions when she's snowballing.
Sure.
So, I'm not the biggest fan of this play. We'll see how it ends up panning out. First and foremost, though, we have a Dragon coming up in 25. A little bit of vision being set up by OMG. And bear in mind, you know, any time that the top laners on here, Shanji has the advantage of being able to, you know, pop that ultimate instead of having to TP down and have, you know, have to go to a ward, have a delay. And plus, at 11 minutes in the game, Wayward can't even TP to a ward.
That's true. Unleashed teleport's not there, so it has to TP to mid or bot lane turret, and it's going to have to come in now. So for OMG, knowing they have advantage, Aki comes in for the flash, and finally a bit of action with Cyclone here as well. Stan United has also flown in, but a three-man ulti with Aki dying. Shanji's ulti might not be in vain here as Mark into the bailout. He won't get a reset while they're chasing JackeyLove here. Shanji is taken away from the AD carry, and he's got Gravitum with Wayward running back in. Chadwood returns with the perfect setup, and Shanji's not there. No.
He's not even staying.
Well, Aux, it just feels rough.
Yeah, the fact, I was talking about it before, if you burn your Shen ult to lose a fight, it's a bit of a disaster. It's the fact that Wayward TP to the turret, walked over there, and they still won the fight. A little bit unfortunate now. The one saving grace is that Creme is able to scare Tian away. And the rest of the top esports on there to back him up. We'll get a replay. So bear in mind, as this happens, we have Wayward TPing in. The Shen ult comes in, kind of as a submarine on the Wukong, but they can't find a kill because of this fantastic ult coming out from Mark that is interrupted by the Samira that buys so much time. Finally, Mark goes down, but Wayward instantly answers, kills the Samira. And then look, you have two tanks trying to get on top of JackeyLove, but Tian does a fantastic job of interrupting, and then Wayward steps in for the cleanup. Creme barely got a look in on this fight.
Yeah, he watched, he waited, and nothing happened, so.
Oh, round two?
Oh, okay.
Oh, he didn't hear no bell.
Well, Knight used the shockwave before, but it's already up and available. Tian about to get that steadfast presence back through as well. Cold now with an angle, but as top esports start hitting this dragon on full vision, Aki's Cyclone, that's what they need to wait for. It's a couple of seconds away, and they are buying time to use it. The Chaos Storm needs to be used this time, but Shanji is still up on the top side with Wayward, so this will be a pure 4v4, and as Abel tries to stack it up, it is stolen by OMG. A Cyclone there, and Tian trying to run away. That steadfast presence gives him movement speed, but JackeyLove now building his own space is Cold with the dredge line in. Depth charge, that ulti!
He's gone!
Tian! That was so sick. He saves his bottom lane again.
Yeah, Dragon goes over to OMG, so they get what they want, but it could have been a lot worse for top esports. And I want to take this time to talk about some of the buffs Poppy got leading into MSI. So one of them, as you might have just seen, Hysterics, was the amount of knockback she has on her ultimate got increased, and it's quite some distance, right?
Yeah.
Also, the missile speed of the ultimate when you charge it up, it's a lot harder to dodge. So it's a lot harder to dodge, a lot more distance. If you cancel it before releasing it, the cooldown only goes to 15 seconds now. It used to be 30. So a lot of bonuses for Poppy. That's not even a full discussion of all the buffs she got, but just the ones relevant there. Yeah, so can have so much value. If you're able to knock away these divers, you can knock a Wukong out of the fight. It takes a long time for him to walk back again.
God, that was just so nice from Tian. With the player we highlighted coming through, and yeah, top esports As you quickly mentioned, lost the dragon, but Tian once again to the rescue. 1-1-3, almost 100% kill participation in this game, and he's just picked up the chem tank as well. So that's someone running you down, and Top Esports at this point in game, even though it's not a massive gold lead, Aux, it does feel like they are starting to run OMG down with the conditions you set before, because Abel on this Samira hasn't gotten off to the start we wanted to see, and Knight now has a bounty. JackeyLove still in a good CS lead. It feels like Top Esports are very controlled coming into this mid-game.
They're getting what they want, and now we see OMG looking for that Herald. This might make that first Herald worth it. My concern with the first Herald was, one, you weren't getting gold for your Samira, and also you weren't getting the mid tower. You'd have to get the second Herald. Looks like they're getting uncontested, but the cost is more pain in the bot lane. JackeyLove going to be able to take this first tower, extra influx of gold, and he's going to be even further ahead in the matchup. Sure, OMG can take mid tier 1, which is obviously valuable in terms of its position on the map, but this is still costly. A lot of gold going to be shoveled into this Aphelios over the Samira. Now, Aki is looking mid right now.
Yeah, but look at this engage. Wayward comes in with the Glacial Prison. Tian against the wall. It's on top of Creme, but it's split here as Knight gets a 3-man shockwave. He's been abandoned by his jungle on top, as Tian still can't kill Creme. The shove against once more does not work. The hammer shock does, though, but Tian, will he die for it? And you know the answer to that, folks, is OMG do get a little bit more than TES bargained for, but it's a good trade-off nevertheless.
And you can see some of the pains. If you don't have your Aphelios there, who's dealing the damage? Knight got focused down, wasn't able to do that much, and it was kind of just like run at the Viktor until eventually he dies, even if it costs you your life. So OMG get the favorable play there and keep it close with Top Esports. 1,000 gold down. They do have the advantage with that mid tower being taken. Obviously the replay coming out. Yeah, Creme takes so long to die, and Tian actually, unfortunately, he tries to go for a really smart ult here. He wants to knock away Shanji, but not Creme, and as a result, he ends up missing both. He was trying to just get one without the other, which I'll admit is a hard task to achieve. Probably should have just gone for the snap ult to knock them both up, but either way, Tian has to overcommit, does end up going down, and obviously Knight didn't survive either.
No, he didn't. He was left to the wolves. It was a 3-man ulti, which would have been good if anyone was near him, but Top Esports mid lane up, getting absolutely bullied down. So opening up mid there in the response to the play. And now we have an open mid for OMG to play through Aux, and with those first items coming on board, with the map a little bit more open and Dragon coming up, maybe this third one's going to be a little bit closer than would have met the eye a couple of minutes ago.
Like, this is what I want to see from OMG, is like set up the deep vision, look for flank angles. If Wukong goes deep, you have the Shen submarine and find the stronger play. And importantly, don't step up here, Creme. That's what I'm looking for most of all.
He knows. He 100% knows. Waiting for the E cooldown. Knight steps out of brush too. So nice respect given from the mid laner of OMG.
Yeah, manages to hold his nerve for long enough. Both of these two holding up the wave at top. If Top Esports want to contest this dragon, Tian needs to start making his way down now. You can see the rest of the team are already setting up for the vision control in the area. And, you know, I hit on it before. If Top Esports can operate this front to back, fantastic. OMG, they want that backline access. I want to see Abel do something. This Samira has been very quiet so far this game.
Yeah, I mean, the engages have been good in response for OMG, but the full fights have not as Shanji comes in ready for a shadow dash. He ain't standing united with anyone for the time being, and Creme is backing off to TP in himself. Knight the same here. But as Dragon spawns, it's Knight who gets the TP down first, and now Creme, he's very removed from the fight. With the zoning here from Knight, and they step on in. OMG have to now make a commit, but it's the front line that's a concern. It's running onto Dragon as Tian, who secures 57 HP, a 2-man shockwave with a Moonlight Vigil, and JackeyLove get the freebie as Aki's onto his second rotation, but Graviton won't get him out. The flash away from Shanji into the Glacial Prison. Abel has not even hit S rank, Aux, and with a double kill on JackeyLove once again, this Samira doesn't get to do anything.
C rank so far for the Samira from me, and you see how it plays out. Top Esports, Knight, Creme is late to the fight, sorry, Knight is there first, and I didn't see, you know, Top Esports backline get touched at all. Knight still has this flash. JackeyLove, in true JackeyLove spirit, flashed in. They were just uncontested, and we'll see the replay pan out. So Tian manages to get the smite, but I want you to focus on the backline here. This is a really nice ult, actually. Oh, blocked though. Okay, good play from Abel. Anyway, look at Knight and JackeyLove and tell me if at any point you think they feel threatened. No, still no.
No.
Nope, still good. Nah,
No.
never once. But speaking of threatened, Creme.
Okay, Shockwave to come through. Knight still doing a bit of damage here, but even with 2 items, Creme able to survive, and Tian initiated that one, Aux, and you're right. There was no threat in that last fight, kind of hard.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate for... I think Top East would have stomped it if Abel got knocked away without Wing. It was a nice W there to interrupt, but yeah, that kind of textbook shows how Top Esports want fights to go. OMG have to be more creative. You need backline access. You just run at the front line, you run at a Sejuani, at a Poppy, you get what you deserve.
Well, at least the tank's playing out well for Top Esports. Aux, as I sit here, you know, slightly dying as usual. We've got a double dragon stack for Top Esports.
Jake, everyone's slightly dying with every second that passes.
Yeah, but okay, well that's just sad. That's too real. That's way too real.
So live life for the moments like this.
That's it. Well, everyone's here spending their... and technically, if everyone's dying, which they are, it's spending your dying moments with us on the LPL. You know, this is what you're committing to in your life.
This is how you want to go.
This is how you want to go. Maybe 75 years too early for a lot of people. 80, 90, depending on how we go. But at the very least, you're spending your time here before you die. This is dark. I'm not going to take us down this alleyway as Shanji wants to 1v1 Wayward. But this game has been so rough for the Shen, as he gets denied with a quick ulti from Wayward. But at the very least the side lane's going well for him.
Yeah, you can see Wayward drops a Creme emote, a Wayward special. Has to use the ult to try and mitigate Shanji. And, you know, this is Wayward heavily investing into, I want to have as much team fighting power as possible. It is costing him in the side lane. Normally, we don't think of Shen as like a split pusher in the traditional sense. Obviously, he can go in side lanes and ult in. But in terms of like actual side lane pressure, he tends not to be the highest. But you can see in this matchup, really delivering, and Wayward just not having the most fun. He's actually gone for the Anathema's chains. Well, I feel like you just used that on Shanji, if I'm going to be honest at this point. I think he's probably the biggest concern for you right now.
And you can always change it as well. I feel like, you know, as the game goes on, you can always change it on people like Abel, Creme, depending on how he goes. So, watching a replay in the bottom right hand again. Okay, Arctic Assault to the Academy. Did we really just show Wayward Arctic Assault Academy and miss? Did our observer actually just sit there and flame Wayward? He missed the cannon. What?
I don't take Wayward slander on this broadcast, right?
Oh my god.
Look, everyone misses a cannon sometimes, right? It's just one of those things.
The observer's ruthless. Power to him or her, but oh god. Well, Wayward missed the cannon, therefore, you know, he should be scolded. I think Wayward this game though, let's be real, played the role he should have played and hasn't cared too much about the side lane. And as we come up towards the Dragon in 55 seconds, he's going to play a pretty crucial role in Top Esports getting their third if they can. But OMG not too far behind in gold. And now that we have a Samira with 2 items here for Abel, Aux, I am curious if finally we get to see that Inferno trigger in one of these fights.
I'm hoping for OMG's sake. I'm hoping they get creative, okay? 35 seconds on this Dragon. Get in there. You have access to the river. Start setting up vision. Get some backline access. Get on top of these critical members. If you just end up running straight at them again, it's not going to go well. JackeyLove's flash is still down for a little bit longer even. The Top Esports are playing this as safe as possible.
Shanji, the first one to walk in. Knight now joins in. Look at Top Esports as a 4-man group, while Knight is the one clearing out the ward. And coming a little bit later, they pull in Wayward for the knock-up here. And Waki gets in the backline, but no one's with him. Onto JackeyLove with the bailout as Abel. Finally getting into the S rank is great, but against the wall, Aux, you already called it, Abel is not going to be able to play for a little bit. Goes into the Inferno trigger, but as he flashes out, he still hasn't killed Tian. Top Esports still healthy as is the backline access for Shanji, but once again gets denied. JackeyLove is being bailed out here, and the bailout fee ain't that much with Creme having to burn his own summoner. Top Esports are low, but OMG just seems like they can't catch a break.
Yeah, but one of the things is Wayward's up pretty soon. He can TP back in. Knight's going to reset and TP in as well. I think Creme will match. Ultimately, JackeyLove with Severum as well. The red gun could just heal up quite quickly. This is Top Esports taking the edge. Creme is there, but you have to be respectful.
Yeah, I mean, JackeyLove's ulti might not be up and available, but with Aki looking at the steal across the wall, he won't commit. OMG, their respect is given over. And once again, losing out to a Drake here. I mean, Aux this team fight as we go through a lot of little moments that need attention.
I'm going to call it, you said it as is, right? Aki gets on the back line, but the follow-up isn't there. The fact that Tian is, with his W up and available, blocking anyone from access. Great play. He knocks away the Viktor, slams Abel in the wall, and then finally we get the ultimate from this. Oh, no, Poppy does like 2 damage. And then, you know, we try and get the hero play from Shanji. It's just not enough. And JackeyLove, like, I don't think he sees his health bar. He only sees Creme's health bar. The aggression coming out from this Aphelios is, it's something.
That JackeyLove mentality, 4-0-2. When, you know, when we spend a lot of the split talking about Knight, about Tian, even Wayward, right? We kind of forget that JackeyLove's on this team, but let's be real. I mean, we probably don't forget about JackeyLove. Who could? But JackeyLove not in the limelight.
JackeyLove won't let you forget that JackeyLove's on this team, right?
There you go. Getting to my point, which is JackeyLove always shows up when you least expect him here. And having a great game with Mark alongside this Renata. Some real playmaking on this Aphelios with a slick cleanse in that last fight too. And Aux, you know, Top Esports might only be 1k gold ahead, but you talked about these tanks and what they're going to do to OMG. Abel, yes, has a bounty. Yes, has kills now and resources, but it still hasn't had a great fight. And every single time, Tian is just such a pain for this Samira to get past.
He's problematic, right? And the ults have been fantastic. There was that one that was blocked by Abel, but other than that, Tian doing a great job. And JackeyLove, you know, with this composition, you need JackeyLove to be playing at his peak. You need him to be really performing because a lot of trust has been given into him. He's closing on the Infinity Edge. He's ahead of items and Abel despite those kills picked up. 4-0-2 right now. And I feel like with one more Dragon to go for Soul, Top Esports, this game is going in every direction they want it to.
And if they get Infernal Soul as well, I mean, just imagine the burst potential on people like Abel, Creme. I feel like at this point, Aux, we're going to start talking about how OMG get the dream fight, right? Because Aki in that last one, the engage was beautiful. But as you were saying, like, Tian was in the way. That was problem number 1. He sends Creme out. It was a deep fight. And because OMG couldn't follow up, even though they have so many gap closers, it just feels like it's a little bit janky and they don't have the same merit that we've been giving Top Esports, which is, you know, really good synergy in the cohesive 5v5.
Yeah, and I think, you know, once more, Aki's approach, maybe not the best in these fights. I want to see, like, the ideal is Abel's coming from one direction, Aki's coming from another, maybe Cold from a third. Don't give somewhere for Top Esports to back off to. And also, Mark with the ultimate, the hostile takeover, is so good anti-dive, right? It is really frustrating one to go against. You can cancel it with Abel's W, but for the most part, like, it is going to cause problems if you're diving in by one direction.
Oh, absolutely. We're setting up Dragon 150. Baron's still there. OMG now as they get the push towards mid. Just heading up towards clearing vision, but the game feels a little bit more stagnant, and we know that Top Esports don't play the fastest mid games in the league at the moment. Like, they are very controlled, Orcs, and as they kind of just wait out, they're the ones who get to play towards a condition with the Dragon, and while Knight's side pushing as well, it just feels like Top Esports have all the cards under them, and, you know, OMG are the ones who are going to have to make the miracle play.
Yeah, I think Top Esports are fantastic at pushing the pace of the game when they need to, but they've shown a lot more control this split so far when they know they have the advantage. They know right now that they can just wait for this Dragon. OMG, even if the OMG secure the Dragon, you know, they have to make sure they get the Dragon and the fight if they want to come out ahead on the back of the play. Whereas Top Esports, if they get the Dragon, it's a win. If they get the fight, still a win, and they can translate that into the Baron.
55 seconds until it comes through. Teleport's going to be used early here, and that is Creme. While Shanji tends to the bottom side wave, he still has to stand united. He's almost level 16 as well, so shielding's going to feel real nice when he comes in.
Hysterics, I want to draw your attention to some of the items. Please. So Infinity Edge finished for JackeyLove. Abel just backed and sold his Doran's Blade for it. But look, stopwatch on Knight, stopwatch on JackeyLove. They know that this is the big fight, right? This is the one that can dictate the game. Those stopwatches can be such a massive advantage as well. We already said OMG won the backline dive. Going to make their job even harder.
As Top Esports move into River now as well, some of those tempo timers are going to be huge. JackeyLove and Knight, damage dealers are ready and charged. And for OMG, getting into position here with Cold angling for the engage, but still getting past Wayward and Tian, that is going to be another matter.
That is the problem. They need to find a solution. So you see the Aki walking around looking for a flank angle.
I mean, JackeyLove just walks into him with grabbing him. Do you think JackeyLove cares? He ults at melee range and takes him down. Aki, for the dreams of OMG, tried, but try as he might, he's now dead, and there's no smite available as the Dredge Line doesn't connect, and now in a 5 versus 4, the Shadow Dash doesn't connect. It's a cleanse from JackeyLove, actually, that was pixel perfect, and now the backline able finally starts spinning to winning as the bailout is used but not saved, and yes, they do get the dragon. All of a sudden, Abel looks good on Samira in this one fight.
30 minutes of waiting for a good Samira ultimate, and now we finally see why teams will respect banning this. That's all you need. That's all you need. One fight. And OMG, I feel like with Aki gone, they knew they were in a desperate moment, but Top Esports got overconfident. They were like, look, jungler is dead. What can happen? What's the worst that can happen? Well, Hysterics, we just saw the worst that can happen. That you can call your caster by the wrong name. That's the worst that can happen.
That's all right. You did it. You did it in the last series as well. No
Wait,
harm
I did?
done. You did.
Oh
Look,
my
Abel,
lord. You know what it is? I spent too much time playing TFT with him.
that's your problem, man. Don't have time for TFT. All I can think about right now is playing Samira in solo queue. Abel brings it out, and as they wait for Cold to come back alive, as they wait, for Creme, we get to look at this replay again when it started as a 4v5.
Yeah, so I think the big thing is a lot is burn onto Aki. As much as this is a good play, they're then getting a bit disrespectful here. And look at some of the CC tools that are moved. So Wayward ends up getting caught in the CC. I believe then uses his Q at some point. And that's when Abel knows there isn't really any CC to come out. Yeah, dashes in. Actually, the Q was still available, but the flash over it.
Aux, he got S rank off of Renata ulti. He got S rank off of hitting Creme. Oh my god,
you take it.
Renata
You take
ulti.
it. You take it.
That's sick. That's so sick. Oh my god. Imagine getting S rank off hitting your ally. That's the biggest, I guess, I would say 5.
Imagine if you could do that, right? If you just like, yo, take some damage. I'm going to stack up on you a little bit, buddy.
That's amazing.
But that's essentially what happened.
And
now,
S rank, running in Aux, tell me what happens now.
He bought a whole item off the back of that. He bought a Merc Sim, like, complete, and a red pot. He is very strong. They deny the soul. They're 4k gold up, and they have the Baron to make things happen with. Game suddenly turned on its head at this point. Top Esports, they need to weather the storm a bit and try and play for that next dragon. Not lose too much.
But look at the gold they've amounted from that last play, from the Baron, from sealing away the dragon. 4k in the lead, Top Esports. Their backs are against their base with OMG able to break open the inner in the top side. The game feels like now OMG have more than firm control. They've got an avenue to play this out. But Aux, I need to look towards what Shanji can do now, because his Shen with Stand United has a Samira that has 4 items with a Mercurial Scimitar with an Elixir of Wrath. And as they breach through mid, as he sets up bottom lane wave, OMG, their dive ability also there, Aux.
Yeah, the threat is there. And the thing is, like, as long as there's not enough CC available to stop Abel, as long as cooldowns are burned, he can just make that happen. He can't just fly in and blow everyone up. You have the shuttle as well to throw in on top if you really need the extra strength. So Top Esports now completely on the defensive, losing structures across the entire map. You can see there's some extra gold coming from that bot lane tier 2, plus 4,000 off the back of that Baron. Bear in mind, so OMG won that big team fight and got a ton of gold. Bear in mind, there was like shutdowns on Knight and JackeyLove, and then they got about 3,500 gold from that Baron play. Massive gold swing, which, you know, obviously later after the game, we're going to see that nicely displayed on the graph. But for the time being, still something to play for here. A minute 15 on this dragon, which once again would be sold for Top Esports, but I suddenly feel a lot less confident in them.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the item difference has started balancing in OMG's favor. We are getting player gold here with Abel having the highlight here, but Creme ain't too far behind JackeyLove and Knight. So OMG, as they clear out vision here, Aux, they're setting up for the dragon and giving themselves every possibility to make it their number 3. For Top Esports, though, walk me through similar conditions we were talking about earlier in the game, but now the difference is that OMG have a lot more items and damage.
Well, I think honestly it got a little bit simpler for Top Esports. Just stop Abel, right? He's now hyper fed. Just stop him from doing what he did the last fight. You know, you have textbook how you don't want fights to go. So not that. And obviously there's other aspects to it. You know, the backline dive from OMG can be problematic. If the right people get on top of, say, JackeyLove, can cause issues. But yeah, it really just boils down to don't let Abel do that again.
Okay. Well, with target Abel coming through 15 seconds, but top esports are still in the base. Tian sets up topside scuttle, but it looks like for this one, they may just be willing to give OMG that final dragon before we face Sol for both of these teams. So top esports nowhere nearby. Heading up towards the top side, and there's no Baron, there's nothing there to trade. So we are going to have a game where we fight over an Infernal Sol for OMG and top esports.
Definitely going to be a fun one. Top esports making the decision not to try and contest to play it safe. I think, you know, ultimately there's decent reason behind that. You know, you don't have Rabadons yet for Knight, whereas Creme has his finished. Obviously, you know, you don't have vision in that area. If you look at the vision on the bot side of the map, OMG's had complete control of the back of their Baron pushes. So now, game goes back into a bit more of an equal state again, not in terms of gold, in terms of like map pressure you would hope. And top esports will start to be able to push out a bit and clear out the vision. But OMG still very much ahead. And with a minute 20 on that Baron, they could start to lean towards that.
But I think the important thing we need to notice is cameraman is obviously now loving Abel. Pick onto Tian, but is it one? Top esports is still here as Tian runs away without burning any summoner. Or, I was going to say, the wards in Baron for top esports with double TP. That's what I'm looking at.
Yeah, they definitely have... The problem is with top esports is that they don't really want people TP flanking. For OMG, TP flanks... I mean, you don't want Viktor TP flanking, but Shanji, he has his ultimate. You can join on a dime. But top esports, like, you kind of need Shanji... Wayward as your front line. You need Knight backing up JackeyLove. So the ward's not the most useful, I'd say, for the angle. Just give them some vision, but yeah. At the moment, they're happy just to slow down the game and try and play for that item spikes. But you can see now the difference. Like, Tian felt unkillable in the mid game. And now it feels like, you know, he's liable to get blown up quite quickly. The armor penetration is there. The magic penetration is there. Yep. These carries are really coming online. And with the GA for Abel, things get a little bit scarier.
Little bit harder, yeah. Absolutely. Stopwatch as well here for Colt. Let's just talk about time-breaking techniques with the stopwatch for Shanji, stopwatch for Arky. Everyone's gearing up for this last fight. While on the other side, Wayward got harder to kill. Tian's almost harder to kill. Knight is full build here at 400 CS as Creme is now towards the mid lane, but he's got a Banshee's Veil, which makes it hard here to send out Wayward's ulti or Knight's or Tian's, anyone's. And JackeyLove too, with a GA as well, Aux. So everyone's hitting that point in our 37-minute game as Baron spawns. This could go down fast by top esports, even with the warding. I mean, OMG have to approach.
Yeah, they want to try and force Shanji to opt into the fight. It's still a precarious position, but so much shielding afforded to JackeyLove right now does make it difficult to really land any sort of sticking damage. And Ken is hunting.
He is for Arky. Good poke damage coming through as well. Top esports not fully committing as JackeyLove is one stepping forward. Abel's still there safely on the side, but Shanji's just on an inhibitor. I mean, top esports are sacrificing their inhibitor turret for this Baron. Shanji's just pushing his way to a victory.
Oh my god, if Aki steals this is so doomed, but he's knocked away!
Oh, good ulti. Great ulti. The keeper's verdict from Tian keeps the verdict towards top esports as the inhibitor gets broken down. Now, Shanji will be able to clear this wave and push up. As he goes towards the Nexus turret, he's not backing off, but as they get out of vision with the Baron buff, he eventually calls it quits. So that's the bottom wave broken there, Orcs, before the Dragon Soul, crucially, while top esports commit everything for the Baron.
Yeah, bot lane, not that big of a deal because a minute 45 until the next Dragon, that's the big objective you're playing for, right? Baron, by the time Baron is up, Fight Inhib will be back up once more. So it's the closest lane to Dragon. You're not really that bothered that it goes down. You got the Baron yourselves. You get some experience. You get some gold. JackeyLove now full build with the rapid fire cannon. And you have those extra stats afforded by the Baron buff going into that Dragon fight. Obviously, we often talk about the Baron, the minion pushing power. That's relevant. I think the main thing is, you know, when we go into this big fight, likely going to be the game-ending fight is this next Dragon. Having those extra stats is definitely an asset.
As top esports approach now, minute 10, we're very early towards the Dragon, but both these teams, you can see the importance of getting this soul. As Cold is the one who's been dredgelining every single fight. The core engage here alongside Aki. And OMG regaining their control around mid lane as well. Shanji is an absolute refrigerator unit right now, Orcs. We didn't get to talk about it, but I think he was a Series 6, 550 liter, if I remember. A big refrigerator who, with 45 seconds left to go, he's got a lot of space in there.
Yeah, a lot of space for your vegetables and meats and everything. He is an absolute unit. Wayward pretty tanky as well. And now OMG are the ones with control of the area. Bear in mind, top esports need to get in. It is so dangerous to face check. OMG obviously want to cause disruption. They want to get on the back line, whereas top esports want to be grouped up and play that front to back. So they have to be so cautious pushing up around these pockets of vision. Look at Aki threatening on the flank. Angle.
But Tian knows he's here. He knows he's here and he wants to take him out. But the Vascon may have done so much here for OMG as Wayward has to get over the wall. Shirelli is out. OMG haven't committed much for this. Orcs, they've barely used anything as Mark has to burn his flash to get out. And now as the Dragon spawns, top esports approach with the Glacier Prisoners. Wayward has started off Tian off on the side on top of Creme. Great AoE here as Wayward still frontlining. JackeyLove gets an ulti. Aki though, even better. Abel starts spinning again, but he goes in GA. JackeyLove is playing Ninja Gaiden. Another GA comes through, but Abel burnt down. Knight is just that king of the mid lane as he steps on up. Creme survives. This is wild. This is just an animal zoo right now as Knight continues throwing his ball all over the place. But look, JackeyLove did 11k damage in that fight, and Dragon's still not gone.
Oh, but he can TP back in. Knight has TP. You gotta go for it. Mid. Why are you TP mid? The Dragon,
I don't know. Okay, well, Cream's going to die at the very least now that Knight gets a kill on top of Dragon. The soul is there. Aki's at 1.4k. Knight's trying to steal it away, but the smite comes through. Soul for OMG at the cost of Knight getting another kill.
You should have TP'd the Dragon. I don't think it's worth it. I don't think killing Cream does anything, but there was a ward there. He could have TP'd to. He could have forced Aki off. And we got to replay the fight. So this is chaotic, but JackeyLove very quickly stacks up a ton of chakrams. Tian unfortunately doesn't connect with the ult, but watch this. Everyone's low. CC's all down. Abel flies in only for JackeyLove just to dispatch him. And then it looks like JackeyLove is primed to take over, but Creme, just as the bailout times out, finishes him off. Otherwise, he would have killed Creme. And then he comes back straight into a laser. And it's only Knight left. And Knight makes the choice. He gets the kill, sacrifices the Dragon, Infernal Soul. When teams scale this, when there's so much power between both of these compositions, that extra burst of damage, definitely a massive asset.
So, Soul's there, Baron up in 2 minutes as well, but OMG in that last fight kind of showing us another element of something, you know, that we briefly mentioned at the start, but never again. Creme, their other source of damage, is at full build Orcs, and his ability to take down JackeyLove was very evident there. Like, the burst is insane. We are at late game Viktor 2, so mid 80 carry for both these teams. Whoever's left standing out of those carry rolls just feel like they win it for their side.
Yeah. I just feel like JackeyLove is so scary. Jay obviously procs, he sold it and got a mix sim. Like, if he autos someone at this point in the game, the damage is obscene. It's just whether he can continue to auto without getting taken down. But, like, look at these autos on the minions.
They got mid-turret at 42 minutes in the game, Orcs, so
they got the tower. It took a bit of time, but they get in the end now. It's a minute 15 till that next Baron. And at the moment, it's probably just going to be a bit more of bouncing waves to each other. I'm not sure how convinced I am that either side can set up well for this Baron. But right now, top esports are trying to contest AD Vision and then reset. OMG, I think they have the better odds, right? We saw their setup around Dragon. If they can get, like, wards behind, if they can get flank angles, it can be really powerful. We'll see what ends up happening. Bloodthirster picked up for Abel instead of his GA, though.
Okay. Well, Wyan's on the cooldown. Nicely done. All right, Orcs. Let's wait. 40 seconds. I feel like this game has, you know, come to an epitome that I never expected. Top esports coming into today. Firm favorites. 7-1, 7 win streak. OMG have been a little bit scattered, but they just came off the back of beating EDG. And for that reason, OMG deserving of a little bit more respect in the community. As we gear up for our 5v5, look at this. Tian going forward, wanting to run down with JackeyLove. Has a Shirelius in his support pocket.
This is deja vu. Look more.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Hey, someone needs to deal with that. Top esports are like, we'll send Wayward. 4 people now in front of the Baron buff. It doesn't spawn for another 5 seconds, though.
Yeah, I mean, last time they rushed it and traded the inhib, they just lose the inhib for free.
Wayward's going to deal with him for the time being, but that's one core piece that's not there. With Stand United, that will be available. Wayward will need to interrupt it as onto the Baron. OMG not there yet. Aki needs still is going down so quick. The ulti flies from JackeyLove with the Moonlight Vigil Infernum. OMG can't contest, and as Wayward continues to bully down, Shanji now looking for an escape ground and does so easily. So Inhibitor goes down for Baron. Orcs. Deja vu.
Yeah, we had this exact passage of play. Top esports, they had the DPS and the shielding for the Baron, and OMG just struggled to approach. They're so wary about diving in and getting blown up. And we see Wayward able to defend, stop any Shen ult coming out, because obviously if Shanji does ult, he'll just get interrupted, and the shield is nice, but it's not enough. Yeah, so end result is Baron for top esports once more. I'm not sure there's much they can do with it. I'm going to be real. I feel like this game is just waiting for the Elder Dragon. And that's going to be the game. That's going to be who gets Elder probably just wins this match. And bear in mind, Hysterics, this is the best of 3. We're in game 1.
We are in game 1. Set up for what could be a brilliant best of 3 series. The Elder flip, though, let's be real. There's been so many times where we've seen teams flip this around, like top esports in the past, and willing to sacrifice the game to that as Cole flashes over the wall, but he's denied. Renata ulti's a great combat here as JackeyLove's targeted down. The bailout's there, but Jackie's going to go down. Forward goes Creme, but as Wayward tackles him through, Tian with a 2-man ulti out, tries to bring the favors back in. On top of Knight, Aki wants to bring it through, but now Creme's a new target as the Rise comes through, and Wayward's done it up, but Abel cleans him up. Shenji's here to play, and top esports, it's an even trade in this chaotic game.
Just madness. It ends up being an even trade. Ultimately, you kind of see what happens. So if top esports lose JackeyLove, he is such a humongous proportion of their damage. And OMG don't care what they lose to get him. They end up going in here, cold with the flash into the dredge line. JackeyLove doesn't even flash here. He holds up the whole fight, goes instead for the Gale Force, ends up going to the bailout, deals a bunch of damage, and it looks messy, is all I can say. The ult from Tian, spectacular, and that allows them to find Creme in the extended fight, but it does cost them Wayward as well. I'm just going to say it, this fight didn't mean much. Both teams, pretty much everyone's full build, gold is irrelevant. The thing that mattered was the summoner spells. Take stock. Aki, no flash. Creme, no flash. Abel, no flash or cleanse. JackeyLove retains his flash, however. One of the few people in this game to still have that summoner spell available, and it could well be super impactful. This is the fight, Hysterics. 46 minutes of game time, and this is all what's going to come down to.
About time. These shenanigans must come to an end. At 46 minutes, top esports versus OMG. The start of this series has been closer than anyone could expect. Comes down to this. JackeyLove, as you said, with the flash, feels like one of the big things to focus on as Tian is a zoning angle right now. The Elder there as JackeyLove just starts targeting down Shanji. Everyone from top esports at his side as Creme tries to zone around there, looking for the turn of play, but Elder's still staring them in the face right now as they move to mid, they move back to river, and Aux, we do this again.
Yeah, and you can see they're wary of Shanji. Shanji has flash, remember. No cleanse for JackeyLove. You have to be a little bit cautious.
Aki. Do they know where Aki is? That ward could spot him out. At 8k, they're going down quick. Cold sets up the engagement, is on the way with his Tian in front of the Dragon Knight, zoning out Shanji here with a good stand. United coming through as well as Abel. Takes down Wayward. Top esports are down a member, and they're down the Elder. OMG have rushed this, and now Shanji wants to get on in. His flash is down, so he won't be able to get out there, but OMG, they found the objective, they found the pick, and now they're going to try and blast it home with top esports at their wing.
It looks like they're trying to stop the recalls. TP coming in from Shanji, he's going to end.
And today I learned that Elder burns down on your ally as Shanji on top of the turrets, looking for a name change here. The next Nexus turret going down, Shanji doing so much work as top esports try to defend, but Riot Games, I want a name change as he gets sent outward. It's still an OMG win. Let's call him Shanji into Shenji, the top laner of OMG coming in clutch.
Man, what an absolute battle in that one. Going up close to 50 minutes, and in the end, we didn't get the big explosive fight around Dragon, but OMG knew what they had to do. Shanji was such a threat. Did you not see, like, in that fight, he was soloing at Knight on the Orianna, and they had to all back off and try and defend, and then they just couldn't reposition again. And I think ultimately, you know, I thought that if we went to late, top esports would be favored, but they just couldn't find the angles in. They kept losing Wayward for nothing. They kept being so reliant, and this is sometimes the issue. If you have this composition with 2 tanks, an enchanter, Orianna, who's, you know, does decent damage, don't get me wrong, but then, like, you're so reliant on JackeyLove. If JackeyLove can't hit a target, if JackeyLove is CC'd, if JackeyLove is dead, your comp falls apart. And ultimately, enough opportunities where OMG found that, or, you know, that fantastic ult from Abel that found them that teamfight win. We kind of went from a game where it seemed like it was all done to blown open in a moment, and then OMG come back and win it.
Oh, it's OMG's game that needs to be highlighted here because it started out so rough. Like that Samira game in the first 30 minutes, Aux didn't do anything. Then we got a fight, then Abel's suddenly a threat. Then Creme gets late game. And these angles picked out by OMG, just so good. As the damage grab, the gold grab, it works perfectly.
Dude, we know exactly, that massive one where it goes from like top esports, a huge lead for OMG. That is that fight where Abel got the quadra into the Baron. And the thing is, top esports brought it back. Obviously, gold becomes less relevant later on, but then it's just the final fight in favor of OMG, getting the Elder as well. Creme doing even more damage than JackeyLove, but just a very much a team effort from OMG to be able to find that one. And this is a team who are middle of the pack, by the way. They're in 9th place. Yep. They're 4-4, and they have even game score prior to this one, where they've now pulled ahead, and yet they just managed to take a game of top esports. And man, that was a game.
That was it.
There was a lot of game in that match. That was an absolute battle, a slugfest.
That was just the start. As you said again, that was literally just the start of this best of 3. OMG and top esports, like, this is kind of why we love both of these teams at the moment. Top esports kind of come out of the barrel with these, with some crazy game plans. And OMG with these unique picks as well. The Shanji